Welcome to On Your Own Terms. I'm Patty Talbot, and this is the place where we learn together what it takes to change the world on our own terms and in our own special ways. Today, I have with me a new friend that I haven't yet gotten to meet in person because she comes to us all the way from South Africa. This is Diana Sekwaila. I met Diana because we somehow connected on Facebook and exchanged encouraging messages. And I discovered that this woman is changing the world on her own terms with her special gifts that she's been honing as a leader and as a servant and as a go-getter from a very, very young age. Diana's going to share her story with you today using our framework, Homegrown Solutions for a Patchwork World, so we can learn about homegrown Diana. We can learn about the solutions she's working for in the world. We can learn about her commitment to diverse voices at the table, and we can learn about how she hopes her work will ripple out and change the world on her own terms. This is Diana Sekwaila. Diana, I'm so glad you're with us today.
My mom and my dad had 5 children from here, South Africa, but the 5 kids happened to be 2 above and 2 below. I am the middle child. And being the middle child, you are not too young, you are not too old, but you are able to connect the 2 pairs. And what happened is that my mom had 2 miscarriages before I was born. And those 2 miscarriages were all boys. Therefore, when I was born, my father expected a boy because the 2 were women and the 2 behind me, it's a girl and a boy. But because they were younger, my father treated me like his boy, his young boy. So whatever he was doing, he would bring me in. He taught me at a very early age to be independent, to think like a young boy, to act like a young boy, to take decisions at an early age. So he groomed me to be a strong woman who is able to take a decision, to trust in her decision-making skill, to not feel afraid of the situations and circumstances around me. So I was assertive at an early stage. Therefore, that helped me as I was growing, because when I was in class, I didn't see gender. I didn't see males and females. I saw people. I was able to compete at a level whereby you are older, you are younger, you are male or female, to me was immaterial. It was all about my thinking ability, my assertiveness, my competitiveness. Hence, that groomed me to be the leader I am today. As you grow, at the beginning, you may not understand because you don't have a role model, or maybe because the environment you find yourself does not directly direct you towards your path. Because of my grooming through my father, I started wanting to help. I immediately started to be a problem solver. Whoever came to me with an issue, it wasn't threatening. I would want to know, how best can I solve this problem? And immediately, when I was growing, when I was becoming a mother, a wife, a professional, I was automatically groomed to look for opportunities to solve problems. And immediately, women became my favorite area. Youth became my favorite area. Senior citizens, the elderly, became my favorite area. Why women? Why youth? I think by virtue of being a woman, I was able to resonate well with issues that women were going through: domestic violence, issues of oppression, issues of gender, issues whereby you can't do this because you are a woman. You can't work at a certain type of work. You can't train a certain skill because you're human. So I immediately associated with situations like that. And I wanted to prove that being a woman has nothing to do with who I am. We have been formed in the image of the Almighty, all of us. We have a DNA unique from one another. We have potential, skills. We are wired uniquely so that when we come together as people, we are able to show our skill, our uniqueness. So to me, when I'm dealing with women, with youth, with the elderly, when the person says, I can't, when the person says, no, I am worthless, I'm hopeless, that's where I thrive. That's where I want to come in and try and show the person that there is something in you that is totally different from what is in another person. And what is in you is waiting to be tapped into so that the next person can benefit from. So we are all different. And that's where my leadership skill comes in, and show people who we are, what we carry, and how to use what we have to change others and make them realize what is it that they have, what is it that they are carrying. We are all human. We are all human. I always like to say to people, I love gardening. That's my favorite. I love gardening. And when I go into the garden, I see the beauty of a garden. And when you come closer, you realize that this beauty has been created by different types of plants, different types of flowers, different shapes, different colors, different sizes. And in that tapestry, it gives you a beautiful picture. So this is the same as human. We may be different in terms of culture, language, gender, but at the end of the day, when we come together and collaborate, we form a beautiful picture. So when I'm in a setup whereby either the people are not speaking my language, or they are not of my skin color, or they are not of my size shape, to me, I see something beautiful that I need to tap into in order to learn. Even if it is just one word out of that person's language, to me, it's beautiful because I'm able to learn something that is not of my culture. Therefore, I don't have a problem in working with any culture. I have a group of women, men, that we call it the soil. Soil like SOIL, representing step out in love. Then this group purpose is to uplift one another, is to empower one another knowledge-wise, is to share our experiences, is to support. It goes to the level whereby we even walk certain days on a week. We just come out of our own houses. We walk for some kilometers for health reasons, to improve our lifestyle. We share what is it that we eat, what is good for my body. So in that space, it doesn't represent a specific culture. It's anybody who is able to walk. When we sit and talk about lifestyle diseases, we all suffer different types of lifestyle diseases. We are able to share information. Therefore, my patchwork story is everybody is important. Everybody is unique. We are like a big puzzle. When you bring those small pieces together, they give you a beautiful piece of a puzzle. And that is how I look into my patchwork. When I'm doing whatever I'm doing, I'm looking at, doesn't matter how small my contribution is. If I can be able to change at least one person at a time, and that person is able to change the next person, so automatically it will ripple its effects. I am doing life coaching on a day-to-day basis. The core of my life coaching is to help people understand who they are. That's the key. Because if you don't know who you are, you will have a problem in understanding what you carry. And if you don't understand what you carry, you will have a problem in understanding your purpose, your vision, your mission. So when I am able to say to one person, you are more than enough, you have enough, you are complete, to change the situation where you find yourself. If I can manage to change one person, I think I would be the happiest, because that person is going to affect the immediate family, and immediate family affect the society changes the nation, and we all become a productive nation. In my coaching sphere, because I'm dealing with people who have experienced trauma, emotional, spiritual, psychological trauma, I'm bringing them back to the understanding of who am I? Who are you? You were first formed on a spiritual level before you became a physical being. And that spiritual person in you is more powerful than the physical person. When you emotionally becomes a head, you end up forgetting who you really are. In essence, you should never lose your identity, because that is the who you really are. And who has the control over your emotion, over your mental state, over what happens around you. If you are in control of that aspect of your being, you will be able to balance your mind, body, and soul. And in that space, when you start balancing, They call it the perfect you, according to God's original design. When you start operating into the perfect you, you are now in a comfort zone whereby you are calm, you are peaceful, you are happy, you are joyful, you are patient, you are able to control whatever is happening around you. You don't live your life under the riot zone. You are in your comfort zone. Therefore, it ripple effect to the nearest environment. So if I can achieve that, I'll be happy. And my information that I share will help one person at a time. In this life that we are living, the life that is characterized by pressure, we are always on the go. We are always trying to achieve something. We are running after something. Therefore, there's a lot of anxiety, worry, fear, stress. How do I manage to focus and still show that I am comfortable in my own skin? How do I do that? If we as people learn to focus, despite what is happening around us, we should not lose the focus. Because if you lose your focus, you lose your vision, you lose your mission, your purpose. Therefore, you will be all over. You will be anxious. But the Bible says, do not be anxious about anything, but focus and pray about everything. If we are able to focus, we are able to operate without distraction. Distraction is there, but we are able to operate within chaos that we find ourselves into. And we are able to be productive within that chaotic space. They say the most creative part of a person is when you are able to operate within a chaotic situation. You become creative. You are able to see opportunity within that chaotic setup. And also, once you are able to focus and be able to operate within a chaotic situation, you are able to learn. You are able to grow. That experience gives you the opportunity to grow. And that experience gives you wisdom. It gives you control, leadership skills. You gain experience. Therefore, you will be able to walk with courage. Within the same setup that's chaotic, you are able to walk with courage without necessarily being threatened by anything that happens around you. Fear will be there, but courage will overpower the fear. And therefore, you would develop a habit. That habit builds your character of working with consistency despite the situation. You continue working forward one step at a time. Hence, if people can master this, we will all be able to achieve what has been deposited within us. We would have been able to achieve our mandate of the reasons why we are still here. You can connect with me and set up an appointment for life coaching as an individual one-to-one life coach. Also, on the same platform, there is a book that I have written. I have 3 books on my name. The first one is Prayers That Get Answers. Is because I had a situation that traumatized me to the level whereby nobody else could help me. I had to focus on the Creator to say, help me, oh God. And my answers came when I started focusing into the real me, the who I am, who else can help me. And that book is called Prayers That Get Answers, because there are some answers to every question that we ask. And these books are not necessarily belonging to a specific denomination. They are empowering books, whereby when you go through them, you learn what I did in my own distressful times. You are able to be empowered and uplifted. The second book is called Experience Your Personal God. I always say to people, we all been created by the superpower, something above all of us. You call him God, you call him whoever you want to call him. But that person, you need to experience him so that when you connect with that superpower, energy is able to be transferred to you. Therefore, that personal experience is important. It is also available on the same platform. You purchase it. It is full of information, experiences that I went through. How do I connect my energy? How do I download my personal superpower? Because without it, I am nothing. The last book that I also wrote late last year is called From Scrapyard to a New Beginning. It says to us, we all go through experiences of life. We all go through life that kicks us out of balance. But the metaphor from scrapyard to a new beginning, it says it is possible to come back. You are able to be recharged. You are able to reconnect and go back to the road, because you have been created uniquely so in God's image. You are an infinite being, wired so much that nothing will ever allow you to just go down the drain. There is much that people don't tap into. But when I do my coaching, when I share these books, I say to people, you are unique. You are different. Just find who you really are. So people can definitely connect with me through coaching, through my resource, Zoom. We have different platforms that I use to connect with people. And I definitely would want people to support me, because the very same, the soil group that I'm working with, the individual women that I work with, the elderly that I work with, they need my support. I need your support. I've got stories to tell.
Thank you, Diana. I know that our audience has seen how committed you are to helping people find their individual strengths and gifts in the world and let them shine so that others can catch the light and shine as well. I know our audience here, no matter what their faith traditions, will be moved to reach out and get their hands on your inspirational books that tell about your own story and how you're reaching out to your higher power gave you the strength and the self-knowledge you needed to keep moving forward and to help others do it too. Folks, I hope you will look up Diana on her website that she's given to you and get your hands on those books. And if you're ready for some individual coaching and work with an inspirational leader like Diana, you can email her personally and work that out. Can you see how Diana's work in communication and social emotional intelligence shows up in a big way to allow her to take creative action for change? She's not afraid to let her light shine and reflect her message out into the world in her own special way. I know that you can see how her work relates to the health and well-being of those in her community and those she's able to connect with and serve all around the world. When we are well within ourselves, we become able to help others be well too. And then we can engage our creative problem-solving skills in the service of all the rest of those goals. It's time to get busy. The target is the year 2030. Get in touch with me and let me know how you're doing. Let me know what you're doing. Let me know what people around you are doing. And I'm always on the lookout for women changemakers to feature on this show. You can reach me at Patty, P-A-T-T-I, at blueroadseducation.org. And together, we are going to change this world on our own terms and in our own special ways. That's what we're here to do every week. And I look forward to seeing you again next week on your own terms. In the meantime, may you be grounded in your beingness, guided in your doingness, generous in your connectedness, and inspired in your reflectiveness, so you can consciously change the world on your own terms. I'm Patty Talbot. I'm always learning, and I know you are too.